Does God exist? Exploring Krishnamurti's radical perspective. Hey everyone, Livan here. Before we dive deep into Krishnamurti's profound insights on God and religion, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming explorations of life's biggest questions. Now, let's begin this journey together. The question we all ask: have you ever looked up at the stars and wondered if there's something more, something beyond our daily struggles, our jobs, our relationships, our entire existence? This question has haunted humanity since the beginning of consciousness. It's perhaps the most essential question we face. Does God exist? Today we're going to explore this question through the eyes of one of the 20th century's most original thinkers, Jiddu Krishnamurti. But this won't be your typical philosophical discussion. Krishnamurti doesn't offer comfort or easy answers. Instead, he challenges us to face reality as it is without the buffer of belief or tradition. So if you're looking for confirmation of what you already believe, this might not be the video for you. But if you're willing to question everything, including your most berserkers or cherished beliefs about God and religion, stay with me. By the end, you might see the world in an entirely new way. Sorry, the human search for something beyond. Throughout history, from ancient Sumerians to modern times, humans have been drawn to the concept of God. But why? What is it in humanity that has always moved towards something called religion or God? Krishnamurti asks, is it only a projection as a result of fear and suffering, a seeking for help? Or is it something deeply real, necessary, intelligent? This is not a trivial question. Our civilizations have been built around religious institutions. Wars have been fought in God's name. People have devoted their entire lives to religious pursuits. But what if we've been chasing something we ourselves created? Krishnamurti suggests that every thinking person, regardless of their background or beliefs, has asked this fundamental question: is this all there is? Is life just about the daily struggle, pain, and eventual death? Or is there something more? The God we've created. Here's where Krishnamurti's perspective becomes radical. He proposes that we have created God, not the other way around. We have created God. He says, see the irony of it. Thought has created God, and then thought worships the image which thought has created, which is to worship oneself and call it God. Think about this for a moment. In India alone, Krishnamurti mentions there are said to be over 300,000 gods. Every locality, every culture, every religion has its own conception of the divine. If God were a single objective reality, would we have such wildly different ideas about what God is? If you're finding this perspective challenging but intriguing, give this video a quick thumbs up to help it reach others who might benefit from this exploration. Now let's go deeper. Born of fear and insecurity. According to Krishnamurti, our concept of God often emerges from our deepest insecurities. Out of your fear, you want security, you want safety, you want to feel there is somebody looking after you because you are afraid. We live in a universe that can seem indifferent to our existence. We face uncertainty, suffering, and ultimately death. Is it any wonder that we might create a benevolent, all-powerful entity who cares for us and promises eternal life? Krishnamurti uses a powerful metaphor to describe our condition. We are in a jungle. Life is complex, challenging, and often frightening. And in our fear, we look for guides, for someone to show us the way out of this jungle. But the moment you depend on leaders, says Krishnamurti, you become weak. The marketplace of belief. Consider how we approach religion in practice. Krishnamurti points out with some sadness, you have nothing to offer but money, garlands, prostrations, rituals. We've created elaborate systems of worship, putting our faith in temples, churches, and religious figures. We make offerings, follow rituals, and repeat prayers. But what does this actually accomplish? Are we connecting with something real, or simply performing behaviors that temporarily ease our anxieties? Krishnamurti says us to see the tragedy in this, that in our search for the divine, we often settle for symbolic gestures rather than authentic transformation. Beyond belief. When asked directly if he believes in God, Krishnamurti's answer is direct. I don't, because God is not something created by man. But this doesn't mean he denies the possibility of something beyond our ordinary experience. He speaks of such a thing as eternity, which is to be outside of time. The crucial distinction is that Krishnamurti refuses to approach the ultimate questions of existence through belief. He says plainly, belief has no place where truth is concerned. This is a radical departure from most religious traditions, which ask us to have faith in concepts, stories, or authorities. Instead, Krishnamurti invites us to approach life's deepest questions with an open, inquiring mind, not one already filled with conclusions. If you are finding value in this exploration of Krishnamurti's radical approach to spirituality, consider sharing this video with someone who might appreciate a fresh perspective on these ancient questions. Now let's continue. The authority problem. One of Krishnamurti's most powerful insights relates to our tendency to follow religious authorities, whether they're ancient texts, religious leaders, or spiritual teachers. I don't know why you have leaders at all, he says. This country is full of them. And why do you follow? He points out that by following others on our spiritual journey, we actually weaken ourselves. We give away our responsibility to discover truth for ourselves. We become dependent on external authority rather than developing our own capacity for insight. If once you realize that you are responsible entirely for yourself, that you are in a jungle, literally in a jungle where you have to make your own way out, there is nobody to lead you, then you forget all this. The examples, the books, everything, because you have got vitality, strength to go through. Think about this metaphor of the jungle. If you were actually lost in a dense forest, would reading books about forest help you find your way out? It would following someone who claims to know the way but might be just as lost as you be the wisest course of action? Or would you need to become fully alert, attentive to your surroundings, and find your own path? The healthy mind needs no God. Krishnamurti offers another powerful insight. A truly healthy mind has no need for the concept of God at all. He asks, when you are perfectly healthy physically, would you go near a doctor? Would you study all the diet books, see every morning the expert doing exercises on the television? Similarly, he suggests that a psychologically healthy mind, one free from fear, conflict, and sorrow, would not seek external salvation, protection, or guidance. It's only the mind that's crippled, conditioned, unhealthy, fearful, aching, lonely, deeply sorrowful, that wants naturally some help, and so it projects God, saviors, the whole religious circle. This is a profound reversal of how many of us think about spirituality. Rather than seeing religious devotion as a sign of psychological health, Krishnamurti suggests it often indicates an unresolved inner struggle, the self-reliant journey. So what does Krishnamurti propose instead of traditional religious seeking? His answer is both simple and enormously challenging. Can we be a light to ourselves, not dependent psychologically on anyone? He believes we have never truly tried to understand ourselves completely. We've developed extraordinary technologies, gone to the moon, invented marvelous machines and medical treatments, but we've directed very little of that intelligence and energy toward understanding our own consciousness. We have got the capacity, the energy, the sufficient intelligence to go into ourselves, look at ourselves, face ourselves, never escaping from ourselves. This self-understanding is not a selfish pursuit. In fact, Krishnamurti connects our failure to know ourselves with the destruction we inflict on others and on the planet. The misfortune is because we don't know ourselves. We're destroying other human beings. We're destroying this marvelous earth. So if you're resonating with these ideas and finding them valuable, please take a moment to like and comment below with your thoughts. It helps the algorithm share this content with others who might benefit. Now let's explore further. Parish. Fear, time, and thought. To understand Krishnamurti's approach to the question of God, we must also understand his insights into the nature of fear, time, and thought, as these are the psychological mechanisms that create our religious projections. He identifies thought itself as one of the causes of fear. Why? Because thought being based on knowledge is always limited. Knowledge, whether now or in the future, will always be limited because it is based on experience. And where there is limitation, there must be conflict. Time too contributes to our fear and psychological suffering. But what is time really? Krishnamurti sees it as a series of movements, the past, the present, and the future. Crucially, he points out that what we call the present is actually modified past, and what we call the future is also a projection of the past. The past modifying itself becomes the future. The future, therefore, is now. This insight has profound implications for our spiritual search. If we are always operating from the past, from memory, tradition, accumulated knowledge, how can we ever encounter something truly new, something beyond the known? The word is not the thing. When discussing matters of ultimate concern like God, truth, or eternity, Krishnamurti makes a crucial distinction. The word is not the thing. Just as the word tree is not an actual tree, the word God is not the reality it points to. We often mistake the description for the described, the symbol for the symbolized. I can describe eternity, he says, but the word is not that, but we are satisfied with the word. This satisfaction with words, concepts, and explanations prevents us from directly encountering reality. We settle for the menu instead of the meal, for the map instead of the territory, or beyond experience. Perhaps most radically, Krishnamurti suggests that truth is something you cannot experience. This runs counter to most spiritual traditions, which promise special experiences, states of consciousness, or divine encounters. For Krishnamurti, the very structure of experience, with its division between the experiencer and the experienced, is part of our conditioned consciousness. Truth or reality lies beyond this division. It cannot be told to you. The word is not that. This is why Krishnamurti doesn't offer methods, techniques, or practices to achieve enlightenment or find God. For him, these approaches strengthen the very sense of self that stands in the way of the direct encounter with reality. The sacred in the present. So if God, as traditionally conceived, is a human creation, and if truth cannot be approached through experience, belief, or spiritual authority, what remains of the spiritual quest? For Krishnamurti, the sacred is found not through belief or religious practice, but through a quality of attention and love in our daily lives. If you love not God, that's very easy to love God because it's an abstraction. It has not much meaning. But if you loved that very love is God, that very love is sacred, you won't go outside to look for God. This is perhaps his most beautiful and challenging insight. The divine is not something separate from life, not something to be achieved or found elsewhere. It is the quality of our attention, our love, our capacity to be fully present without the distortions of fear, desire, and thought. The revolutionary insight. To summarize Krishnamurti's perspective on God and religion, the concept of God is a human creation born of our fear, insecurity, and desire for comfort. By following religious authorities, we weaken our capacity to discover truth for ourselves. A psychologically healthy mind has no need for belief in God. We have the capacity to be a light to ourselves without dependence on external authority. Truth cannot be approached through experience, belief, or practice. The sacred is found in the quality of our attention and love, not in abstract concepts or rituals. This is not a comfortable perspective. It offers no consolation, no promise of eternal life, no divine plan that gives meaning to our suffering. It places the responsibility for our lives squarely on our own shoulders. But there is also tremendous freedom in Krishnamurti's approach. Freedom from authority, from tradition, from the weight of the past. Freedom to encounter life directly without the filter of belief or ideology. An invitation to freedom. As we conclude this exploration of Krishnamurti's perspective on God and religion, I want to invite you to sit with these challenging ideas, not to accept or reject them, but to let them work on you, to see what insights they might reveal about your own relationship with the concept of God. Krishnamurti doesn't ask us to believe anything. In fact, he explicitly warns against believing what he or anyone else says. Instead, he invites us to investigate for ourselves, to become aware of our own fears, desires, and conditioning. If once you realize that you are responsible entirely for yourself, then you forget all this, the examples, the books, everything, because you have got vitality, strength to go through, saying, this is the radical freedom that Krishnamurti points to. Not freedom to do whatever we want, but freedom from the psychological structures that prevent us from seeing reality clearly. In a world increasingly divided by religious and ideological conflicts, perhaps this approach offers a way forward, not through new beliefs or systems, but through the cultivation of minds that are free from fear, prejudice, and division. If you found value in this exploration, please subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming videos. Your engagement helps us continue creating content that explores life's deepest questions. Leave a comment below with your thoughts. I'd love to hear how Krishnamurti's perspective resonates with you or challenges you. This is Levan, thanking you for joining me on this journey of discovery. Until next time, may you find the courage to question everything and the freedom that comes from seeing reality as it is. The challenge of living without fear. Before we part ways, let's revisit one of Krishnamurti's most profound questions. What is the state of mind that is totally, completely free from all fear? Would it seek anything? Would it have any desire to protect itself? Would it have any need or necessity to seek something to which it can pray, worship, or ask help? This question invites us to examine our own relationship with fear. How much of our seeking, whether spiritual, material, or psychological, is driven by fear? Fear of death, fear of meaninglessness, fear of not being enough. Krishnamurti suggests that a mind free from fear would have no need for gods, saviors, or spiritual authorities. Such a mind would be whole, healthy, and capable of meeting life directly without the need for psychological security. But how do we move towards such freedom? Not through methods or practices according to Krishnamurti, but through direct awareness of our condition. By seeing clearly the ways we seek escape from our fears, rather than facing them directly. We have tried everything else, he says. We've gone to the moon, invented most marvelous machines, extraordinary surgical instruments. The brain has got very extraordinary capacity, but that capacity we never apply to ourselves. But worries what might happen if we directed even a fraction of that intelligence and energy toward understanding ourselves. Thank you for exploring these profound questions with me. If you've made it this far, you're clearly someone who values depth and authentic inquiry. That's why I'd like to invite you once more to subscribe, like, and share this video if you found it valuable. Until next time, this is Levan, wishing you clarity, courage, and freedom on your journey.